I'm Mark Ergood. I'm with the Equal Opportunity Now by Any Means Necessary Caucus. I'm a delegate to the Representative Assembly from Oakland, and today I introduced a new business item to get rid of Arne Duncan now, to make that demand on the administration. Duncan's been attacking public education, attacking Black Latino students, attacking our union, and I think everybody knows it, and a position by the NEA to get Duncan out could really win. We got tons of support for that, so that was my new business item.
My name's Jonathan Massey. I'm a delegate from Arizona. I am speaking just as an individual here. I do not represent the Arizona delegation in any way. Far from it, in fact. I did not know Mark Ergood until yesterday. I read this resolution and I prepared a speech so that I could go to the microphone and speak in favor of it when the opportunity arose. Unfortunately, today when I went to the microphone to prepare to speak, someone used a parliamentary trick, object to consider, and in a very rapid sequence of events, it was impossible to speak to this motion. It was not going to be considered at all, and there was no opportunity for me to speak. Now, this is not a practiced presentation. I jotted down some notes on my knee yesterday, and I was going to read it very rapidly, so I wasn't timed out today. So just bear that in mind, and I'll just share the notes with you. This is something like my presentation would have sounded. Some of you may remember that in 2009, Newt Gingrich, who is hardly a friend of public education, went on a nationwide speaking tour along with Arne Duncan and Al Sharpton in order to promote Race to the Top. Others may recall that 2 years ago, this very assembly of the NEA voted non-concurrence in President Obama's education policies, also known as Race to the Top. Some may realize that just a little over a year ago, when Wisconsin teachers were on the ropes and fighting for their rights, when President Obama could have gone to give them support, instead he opted to go down to Florida, where he lauded former Governor Jeb Bush, calling him a champion of education reform. Recently, our country's voucherista-in-chief, Governor Bobby Jindal of Louisiana, praised the Obama administration's efforts on education. Another governor, Chris Christie of New Jersey, recently described the Obama administration's education policies as an only Nixon could go to China moment. He said, quote, "We need a Democratic president to make these reforms in education to lead the way." Joe Williams, the executive director of Democrats for Education Reform, also known as the Billionaire Boys Club, said that in the 90s there was a push for changes in education by governors, but it dried up, and that Barack Obama gave the mojo back to governors for the education reform agenda. In my opinion, Race to the Top is a catastrophic program for students, schools, and teachers, driven by private school educated elitists and corporatists seeking to undermine publication and slice up the educational pie for profit. Both Race to the Top and Arne Duncan need to go, and there wouldn't have been any better organization to say that than the National Education Association. Oh yes, did I mention that Mitt Romney has said repeatedly that he agrees with the president's education policies? He has, and he does.
Thank you, gentlemen.